As predicted, Bitcoin slows in the second half of August. Here's what's next. Well, welcome back to the Crypto Astro channel, bringing a radical, innovative new approach to crypto analysis, combining technical analysis with astrology. Please use caution in the comments below, as there are many spam bots that are promoting false crypto projects. So please ignore those. None of this content is financial or investment advice. This content is intended for entertainment and informational purposes only. So let's take a look at my previous videos here. Listen to this where I was talking about what could be coming up in August. This was about a month ago. Take a listen to this. Let me turn up the volume here. Okay. So Bitcoin predictions, it's very difficult to predict. Typically, I mean, sometimes the astrology is very clear, just like it was June and July. Take a look at my June and July predictions, and I warned you guys multiple times that there's a lot of caution that we could be seeing some big corrections. That's exactly what we got. This time, it's not as clear. All right, so, but I can say that the Bitcoin price action could trade sideways or dump around mid-August, like I was saying, give or take 2 weeks. It's really tough to nail down an exact day, but the second half obviously was looking more negative. Then, like I said, a major market shift around September 1, and you'll have to stay tuned for my future videos where we'll dive much deeper into the September astrology. Okay, so there's that. I was talking about the astrology. Second half of August looks more bearish, and let's take a look what happened. So second half of August was around here. So we did get a pump. I was getting some haters in the comments for that. But then we did get this larger dump. So what do you think? I mean, we got a little pump, but look at that. We got almost more of a dump. So I wasn't 100% accurate, but pretty darn close. I mean, the start of August in general, we went way down right in the beginning of August. We came up a little bit, but it got rejected. So we didn't get much bullish momentum. We fell right back down. And take a look at this. So here's what happened in August. Look at this yellow line here. So this is the 21 SMA line, this yellow line. And take a look at this massive rejection. So this is the weekly scale. We came into August back here. We came up to this 21 SMA line, and we got a massive rejection. Look at this weekly candle. Boom. Huge rejection second half of August. So that's arguably quite bearish second half of August. We got a 11% dump just with that one candle, but total we got 15% dump heading into September. So pretty bearish if you ask me. What do you guys think? So let me know in the comments below. All right, let's take a look at the next one here. Here's my one I was predicting September forecast, and you guys can check that out. Go to my channel, click on this video, Bitcoin forecast for September, to see the whole video. But check this out. September Bitcoin astrology. This is specifically what transits the planets, what aspects the planets are making to the specific Bitcoin astrology chart. And September 1st, we're getting Saturn retrograde conjuncting the Bitcoin progressed Venus. A little bit concerning because the last time this happened was April 25th, and Bitcoin dumped to 56K. So we got a big dump last time. Is it guaranteed that we get another one of those? It's not guaranteed, but it's possible. So there's a bit of concern there. However, I'm not going to hang my hat on that for sure. But it's very interesting. We're getting that negative hit on the day of Pluto retrograding into Capricorn and Uranus retrograding. Major market shifts is what I'm seeing here. September 3rd, Jupiter square Bitcoin Uranus. That's a little bit negative. September 6th through 13th, we're getting Mars in Cancer opposite the Bitcoin Pluto. That's not so good. All right, so we're getting quite a lot of negative astrology coming up, unfortunately. So I did mention this Saturn retrograde conjuncting the Bitcoin progressed Venus. That was overall negative. And I shared that we did get that dump last time. And sure enough, we did get, let's go to the daily. We did get a dump right here in the first part of September. Right when we got that transit, we are dumping right after that. and we're going to get continued negative astrology. So I did warn you guys about that negative astrology coming up. And it's not looking super great beyond that, unfortunately. But let's dive into some more details here, shall we? Okay. So we are getting the Fed jobs report coming up. We have a key jobs report tomorrow. The big question now is going into the September 18th FOMC meeting, where the Fed is going to talk about the labor market and decide if they're going to cut rates. It looks like they're most likely are going to. Have they threaded the needle to a soft landing? And then this Friday, the jobs report will be a key piece of the puzzle. So the employment numbers will shed crucial light on whether a recent jump in the unemployment rate, which tracks the share of people who are looking for work but have not yet found it, was a blip or the start of a problematic trend. The jobless rate rose notably in July after a year of creeping higher. If that continued in August, economics are likely to be increasingly worried, and that did happen. So the astrology for the jobs report tomorrow looks pretty bad. It's very hard to predict, but we are getting a double unfavorable signals signaling potential more downside risk, and it's leaning bearish. So let's take a look at the astrology. This is for Bitcoin. So coming up here on the 6th, we are getting Mars opposite the Bitcoin Pluto. So that is bearish, not looking so great. Also, Mars is now in Cancer, which leans badly for Bitcoin historically, which is one of the worst Mars signs. So this can be some destructive energy. We're also getting Mercury square Uranus, bringing chaotic, unexpected surprises, and that's leaning bearish. But also Uranus brings the unexpected, so it's difficult to predict. Saturday, the Sun opposes Saturn, bringing limitations, heavy, serious energy, and fear. And that's leaning a bit bearish. Monday, September 9th, we're getting Venus square the Bitcoin Sun. So right here. And that's looking like more disappointment. But maybe there's a chance Mercury exalted in Virgo and trining the Bitcoin Pluto could bring a relief rally. It's tough to say. It's also important to understand that we are now in the pre-eclipse zone. So if we... I could bring up the eclipses. So we're going to go hit eclipse. That's the wrong one. Let's go to the more recent one here. Coming up September 17th. So this is the next eclipse. I'm just going to briefly go over this. So we're potentially in a pre-eclipse zone, and the dangerous September 17th eclipse is coming up. And this eclipse is potentially dangerous for Bitcoin, and also even Michael Saylor's chart, and also potentially NVIDIA. So not looking super great. It is in Pisces, which is activating Neptune. Pisces energy is not great for markets in general. It can bring confusion, and the markets don't typically like that. The markets want clarity. So overall, not super great. Let's see what else I can share here. We're also getting, I also want to go to the charts again here. Let's go to the monthly. And I'm going to open up the stochastic RSI. Let's open this up here. So this is the monthly stochastic RSI. I'm going to zoom out a bit. So this is where we're at right now. I mean, we got a stochastic RSI cross in March. That literally marked the peak of Bitcoin. I wish I was watching this more closely back in March. We got a little bit of a... It tried to go back up. It tried to make a cross in July, but that didn't happen. It's still falling back down. I wrote a note that this looks like November 2019. Let me see what was. So if we go back to November 2019. Yeah, so the only hope here is if we get something like we got in November 2019, where we were falling down. It's a little bit different because in 2019, we didn't get, the stochastic RSI did not get all the way up to 90 or 100. It only got up to 91, signaling that it didn't get the full momentum yet. But if we're lucky and somehow we get a rebound, similarly here, you know, the stochastic RSI went down to 34, and then it got a, well, actually it got across here. It actually got across February 2020, but that was a fake out. And then, because then we had COVID collapse. And then we got the stochastic RSI cross here, where the blue line, let me zoom in a little bit here for you guys. Let's go over here. So the stochastic RSI cross is right here, where the blue line crosses the orange line there, and it shoots back up, bringing a ton of momentum back into the market. And then that led into the market peak in April, May, before the markets fell back down that summer. So that would be what we would be looking for if we want to get a mega pump heading into the end of the year. So we would need to get a stochastic RSI cross like this, where the blue line starts shooting back up, bringing momentum back in. Now let's look at the 2-month. Let me zoom in. All right, we got to zoom out actually. There we are. Looking better. All right, so looking at the 2-month, yeah, once again, we got this stochastic RSI cross in the negative direction. So we peaked out at 100, and now we just got a negative. So that is actually extremely bearish. That is very concerning. So I am actually de-risking. I'm selling, been selling 10, 20% of altcoins. Yeah, and I'm putting in my stop losses because we could have more downside to go, unfortunately. So I'll talk a little bit about in a moment about what we would need to see to fight against this, because on the macro level, this is very bearish. So in the shorter term, we would need some to see some really good action at either in the Bitcoin price action. We would need to see a major pump up past 70K, or I'll explain some other things we need to see. If we look at the exchange volume really quick, exchange volume is still dropping off. If we zoom in, it's still falling off. So we are not getting sustainable exchange volume, showing that it's either a good accumulation time or we're heading into longer term bearish trends, which is not super great. Then also we need to see the Russell 2000 pump. Talked about this a few times, but zooming out, we need to see this Russell 2000 get it past the all-time high. We saw the S&P 500 shoot past their previous all-time high here. We saw the Dow Jones shoot past its previous all-time high back in January 2022. We have not seen that still. Ever since 2021, we still have not seen the Russell shoot past this previous all-time high. So we need to get past this level at 2,470. If we want to see a crypto bull run, so it's still hanging out here. It hit this level of resistance around 2,239 and got rejected. So that's not looking great in the short term and maybe even the long term. So definitely some things to be seriously concerned about, honestly. So this is not what we want to be seeing heading into, if we're expecting another major run up, if we want 100 Bitcoin or whatever people are rooting for. We would need to see some major pumps soon. All right. So what's next? What's coming up next? It is really tough to say. Let's look at the total market cap. I mean, it's still just like Bitcoin. We are heading down again. I mean, just look at this general downtrend here. We're getting lower high, lower high, lower high. I mean, that's not looking good. That's pretty bearish. And then we're also getting lower low, lower low, lower low, lower low. So, I mean, there is definitely a chance we could get another lower low. But hopefully what we want to be seeing is we either want to hold this level here. Let's zoom in here. I mean, we could bounce off this 50% level here. These green lines are levels of support, basically. Let me make this a little bit bigger. So either we bounce off of that and we see something like this. That would be good to see. Or if we continue downwards, we want to bounce off of this level potentially. Now, if we go to Bitcoin, those levels would be, you know, I guess right around here. Either we bounce off of like 53,000 or next level support this area, this $49,000 level. That's a 50% level actually. So that's a pretty strong but possible support because I made a 50% from this peak in March all the way down to this level here when Bitcoin was at 24,000, 50% level, if I'm correct. Yeah, it looks right. Is at 49,000. So that's pretty strong support. Yeah. There's also this trend line. So we are actually hitting, and that's interesting. We're hitting up on this trend line here that I made. We got one hit, two hits. We're getting a third hit right now. We need to get a confirmation. We need to see if Bitcoin is going to hold that level. So that would actually be bullish if we got a nice bounce off of here in the coming days and weeks. Even if we did this and we started stair-stepping upwards, that would be very bullish. All right, so that's what the bulls, if you're a bull, that's what we would need to be hoping for right there. Also, if we open up the stochastic RSI again, we go to the weekly, we would need to get a stochastic RSI cross. We did just get one and then it failed. So see, the blue line went up and then it just fell back out. So we would need to get a nice confirmation. We would need to get a stochastic RSI cross. We would need to get higher than this level. So we would need to see something like this and get above this level, which is at 49. So we need to see a lot of momentum coming in. We have not seen that yet. So that's what we need to see if we want Bitcoin to get a new all-time high. But it's either a great time to accumulate or there's more downside. So tricky to predict here, guys. Okay, so that's all I have to say, pretty much. What's next? Shall we finish off with a nice little song to get us in some positive states? Or would you like me to share something that is totally blowing my mind? Some crazy, incredible information that I've learned in the last couple days about astrology. That is potentially information that could change a lot of things that we know about Western astrology. So I could share that as well. What questions do you guys have in the comments? And let me know what you guys want me to cover at the end of this video. How to scalp with astrology. Please make a video. Okay. Interesting topic. Never made a video about that. Thank you for the videos, Jack. Do you see a rally at all this Q4 for the alts? By the way, when's your birthday? So yeah, there could be a rally, but we would definitely need Bitcoin to pump past 70K. get a new all-time high. We need to see that stochastic RSI cross and get massive momentum coming back into the markets. We would need to see the daily exchange volume start going up. It's been on a downtrend ever since March of this year. So we need to see all those things. And then, yes, absolutely, the astrology is pretty positive towards the end of the year. So yes, that is definitely possible, but we'd also need to see all those other things. So it's tricky. Could I check Gary Network? I've looked a little bit into it. It looks interesting. I'm not sure if it's going to catch on or not. So that's my take. Love from Bangladesh. Thanks, brother. Thanks for the love. Thanks for tuning in. I love how we got people from all over the world. I'm a global citizen. I live in Bali and California. Love these places. Oh, also my birthday, February 8th. So in Western astrology, I am an Aquarius. But here's what I could share, guys. Here's the thing that's blowing my mind. Because, I mean, this is going to freak some people out probably. But might as well share this. Take a look at this. Just take a look at, so this app is Solar System Scope. It's just showing where the planets are physically in the solar system right now. Take a look at Earth. This is where we're at. Now there's Pluto. All of Western astrology is saying that Pluto is heading into Aquarius, right? Like everybody knows that. I've been talking about it at length. I've been studying it almost every day the last few years. Take a look at this strange thing. Pluto should be heading into Aquarius, right? So then why is it saying Capricorn? Why is it in between Capricorn and Sagittarius? Now this is Latin, so maybe this was the original name for Capricorn. Capricornus and then Sagittarius. Why is Pluto not heading into Aquarius? Because Aquarius is all the way over here. What is going on here? So, I mean, I was looking at this, you know, a year ago, and I was like, this doesn't make sense. I was like, so then I actually just deleted the names in the background because I was like, this app must be wrong or something. But then I looked at other apps, and anyways, then I found out from someone in my network who studies true sidereal astrology, and he talks about, all he does is talk about how, now this is going to shake some feathers here, but how Western astrology is not actually covering where the planets are actually in the solar system. Western astrology is based, and this is a fact, Western astrology is based on the seasons, because it Western astrology basically assumes 0 degrees Aries every spring equinox, I believe it's called. So Aries starts every year in Western astrology, I believe March 21st, March 22nd. Assuming that, so what Western astrology missed, potentially, or I don't know, there's some conspiracies about it, but there is a wobble on the Earth, and so that actually, every 72 years, the astrology changes a degree, every 72 years. So what I found was this true sidereal astrology, this website here, masteringthezodiac.com. It explains everything, and it goes into, you can type in your birth chart here, you can type in your birthday, your information, and so for example, like Western astrology, I'm an Aquarius, but sidereal astrology, where the planets actually were physically, and which constellations they aligned with physically in the sky. When I was born, the sun was actually in Capricorn. So that literally changes my sun sign. So it's blowing my mind. And my ascendant, instead of being in Aries in Western astrology, is in Pisces in sidereal astrology. And then instead of my Mars being in Taurus, my Mars is in Aries in sidereal. So this is really blowing my mind because it kind of changes a lot of things. Anyways, I'm not saying that everything's wrong with Western. There's a lot of great things about it. It's still very accurate. But this brings a whole new flavor, if not possibly even more accuracy, this sidereal astrology. And I can even look up the Bitcoin chart and see what we see here. But that doesn't change all of the predictions I've been making the last couple of years, because Western astrology is still very accurate with the aspects and everything that I've been talking about with the Bitcoin astrology chart. But just wanted to share that because that's been something that's been on my mind. I just wanted to be transparent with you all about that. Let's see if you guys have any more questions. Oh, let's go back to Bitcoin. Vedic is Vedic more accurate? Not necessarily, but it's really interesting. There's all kinds of different astrology that I'm starting to learn, that I'm starting to dive in more now. Each different type, Western, tropical, Vedic, and then true sidereal. They all have their different flavors. Yeah, so I'd say it's whatever you prefer, but I've been mostly Western. Now I'm getting into true sidereal, so I'll keep you guys updated on that. But yeah, definitely something that's been blowing my mind lately, so I wanted to share that. All right, thanks everybody for tuning in. Be coming out with a lot more videos. However, I am hosting a retreat, the first ever Crypto Astro retreat. Super excited about it. It's happening tomorrow. I'm hosting 6 beautiful souls here in Bali. We're going to dive into crypto astrology, market analysis. We're going to be diving into personal development, breath work. We're going to be doing some Qigong. We're going to be working on our wealth mindset. We're going to be eating delicious food. It's absolutely incredible here. We're going to have an amazing time. So probably going to be taking some videos of that, and I'll probably post that at some point. But it's going to be difficult for me to be jumping on here. So definitely review my September astrology forecast. I went into all the details for September there, and then I'll be back in a week after this beautiful retreat. And if you guys are interested, we'll probably be having another retreat coming up at some point. And definitely check out the links on my YouTube page for that if you're interested. And definitely email me as well if you would like to get early bird access to the next retreat, because this one's going to be amazing, and I'll tell you guys all about it afterwards. All right, thanks so much for tuning in. Love y'all. Love my subscribers. Definitely hit that subscribe button. Show some love for all this work I've been putting in the last 2 years. Maintaining 89% accuracy. Pretty dope. For sending these videos to you guys for free. And then, of course, if you want to join my private Crypto Astro Mastermind, click the link below. You can get in. You'll get live monthly calls with me. You'll get an amazing network. You'll join a private, curated Telegram group with experienced investors and traders. Super high value. You can get in with one payment. You get lifetime access. I don't know how I can pack in even more value than that, but it's amazing. So check that out. Thanks so much, guys, for tuning in, and I'll see you on the next video. You know what? I'm going to close it out with this beautiful song here. All right, so check this out. This is what me and one of my clients created for y'all here. So. All right, so very, very interesting and a great question, Morningstar. So Morningstar was one of my commenters. Morningstar, let me know in the comments below what you think about this song. Okay, here it goes. Morningstar. I don't know, it sounds like there could be a good song about Morningstar. Morningstar, the morning star. Tune into the morning star. The morning star, the morning star. Tune into the morning star. Morning star, the morning star. Tune into the morning star. morning star, the morning star. Tune into the morning star. Morning star, the morning star. Tune into the morning star. All right, thanks y'all for tuning in. Morningstar, the commenter by the name Morningstar. Comment below, let us know what you think about this beautiful song. All right, peace, guys. Thanks so much for tuning in. Morning star, the morning star. Tune into the morning star. Morning star, the morning star. Tune into the morning star. Peace, guys. Have a great rest of your day or evening. Much love.